There's been house cleaning at a whole bunch of different places, okay? Everybody knows about the Twitter one, okay? A bunch of other top 500 companies have also been, cleaning out some of the cobwebs. And hey, take a look at this. MSNBC, the bastion of very smart people, okay? Very unbiased coverage. They're a news outlet after all. Well, they decided to get rid of a race hustler, okay? Controversial weekend host Tiffany Cross is out at BET. Sorry, MSNBC. Tiffany Cross, the MSNBC weekend host known for controversial comments on race and politics. Yes. We was Kangs and all that shit. Is exiting the cable news outlet following a series of on-air outbursts that pushed the network executives over the edge. I'm looking forward to reading some of this stuff because, like most of the people on MSNBC, I don't know who the fuck this bitch is. While Cross's bumpy venture at MSNBC appears to have come to an abrupt end, I'm sure she'll be snatched up by, I don't know, man, there's something going on underneath that suit. I'm sure that there's a couple of videos getting shot down there in Atlanta that you could probably, to just roll up on. Despite multiple warnings from executives at the network, according to a source close to the network, she dropped inflammatory comments on the air. Okay, the final straw may have been Cross's appearance on Thursday's episode of Comedy Central's Hell of a Week with Charlemagne. Charlemagne the God has a fucking Comedy Central show? Like, he's a fucking morning radio host. It isn't even all that bright to begin with, but he is popular, so that makes sense there. But maybe that's why I haven't heard of a goddamn thing that Comedy Central has done since, the roast of Charlie Sheen. But yes, Charlemagne the God asked the roundtable guests which state the Democrats could afford to lose in the midterm elections. What the fuck is going on here? Okay, like I understand, like he gets all of those big ticket interviews. Okay, like I think Kamala Harris even pulled up and had an in-person interview, and Charlemagne, because he was the other guy opposite. If you don't know who this guy is, okay, that's all right, okay, but you'll immediately know who he is because he was kind of that shocked-faced looking black guy who looked over at Joe Biden that said, well, if you don't vote for me and vote for Trump, you ain't black. He was the guy conducting the interview at the time. So yeah, this is what a comedy network is talking about. Which state Democrats could afford to lose in the upcoming midterms? Well, don't worry, bro. You're going to have a lot of things to choose from there. Which ones have the Democrats lost? All of them? Okay, Florida literally looks like the dick of the country, so let's get rid of Florida. Cross said, how do you lose something if you don't even have it? Like, both state senators, Rick Scott and Marco Rubio, Republicans, for as much as there's like one Republican between the two of them right there. Well, one and a half, say that as well. And the governor's mansion, oh yeah, you think that's fucking flipping? Okay, Charlie, I don't want your vote, Chris. Holy shit, holy. Is not going to happen. Like it's kind of a clever joke, and it could be a part of a grander theme of a conversation that you're going to be having if you were to call Florida the dick of America. It's like everybody's made that joke, okay? It's like it's not that bad, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like if you're going to lead with that, especially on Comedy Central, like that's a joke that I'd make. I got a YouTube channel. I'm not on, the place that used to hand out specials to the likes of Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, Patrice O'Neal, like real top tier comics, hosting shows like the Chappelle Show, okay? Tough crowd, like it used to be a funny place, but now I guess it's just another place for, political retards to go out there and talk their political retardation shit. Whatever. Cross, who is exiting MSNBC after 2 years, holy shit, did not get a contract for renewal from NBC Universal. Well, NBC Universal is kind of hemorrhaging money, so even, the couple of scraps that she was getting could probably look a little bit better being kept on the books as opposed to off-letted to somebody with a really shit sense of humor. Like, whatever. Okay. The new show, Cross's show, which aired from 10 a.m. to noon on Saturdays, has been canceled. As a result, according to the source, a new show will include a group of rotating anchors. Yeah, just a whole bunch of fucking influencers that'll probably come through when, I don't know, probably be watched by a couple thousand people, and that'll be about it. I want to see some of her other comments, though, before we jump the gun on this one. According to Variety, which first broke the news of Cross's exit, there's been speculation that the anchor's relationship with MSNBC was becoming frayed. Yeah, everything was probably racist, everything was probably sexist, and she wanted to call it out. Some of Cross's other controversial remarks include calling out new co-host of The View, former Trump White House Communications Director Alyssa Farah Griffin, as a tawdry turncoat Trump loyalist. Somebody who worked for Trump is a Trump loyalist, huh? On The View, press X'd out on that one when speaking about an alleged Trump election interference. She called for progressives to pick up a weapon and get involved in the war for the survival of the country. Trump was depersoned for saying go home with love and peace and we should fight like hell for the country because if we don't, we won't have a country to defend. But she's saying literally go out there and incite violence and there's going to be a war, so get in the streets right now. Nothing, MSNBC wouldn't want anything more than actual political violence because fuck, somebody better watch their decrepit channel. But funny they should mention The View, or she should mention their View, okay? Because there was something else. View caught a little smoke. Not enough, really, at least for my tastes, but it's wild, right? Because you got that Kyrie Irving, Kanye West situation where they're just making vague allusions at a certain group that are out there, the Jews, okay? It's not like I'm afraid to say it. It just wasn't terribly relevant, but she's coming out here smearing white women in general, okay? Right-leaning, right-voting white women and calling them cockroaches? Like, that's, pulling fucking, you're just paraphrasing Farrakhan at this point in time, okay? Because he loves to call Jews roaches. And she just did that on ABC in the morning to a bunch of wine moms. And she still got a job? Like, hey man, shout out Tiffany Cross. I don't have a problem with what she was saying. I barely have a problem with what Sonny Hostin is saying, but at the same time, if we're going to apply all the rules fairly, she should have at least got that Whoopi Goldberg treatment from earlier this year when she called out the Jews. Oh my God, it all makes sense. Yeah, no, funny thing about that, I don't forget. I'm sure you didn't either. I got an old video on that too. Trust me, your boy's been around the block for a long fucking time. The View. Hosts sparred over voter issues, and I'm sure their classic way, affirmative action and abortion during the ABC program this week. Why would anybody tune into this stuff? Just fucking boilerplate takes about the same 5 fucking topics, and then hopefully maybe you get to catch Joy Behar missing her fucking chair, and then everybody just laughing behind their back, okay? What goes on behind the scenes? Because, hey man, at least shout out Jedediah Bila, okay? She's putting on a little bit better of a program over for Valuetainment on her own channel that's out there. It's better. It's better. It's not great, but it's fine depending on the guests that she gets. It can be interesting. She likes to overtalk a lot, but she's getting a little bit better out there. Mostly because she kind of had to overtalk when she was on this panel of intellectual titans. During Thursday's episode of The View, the hosts went back and forth over voting issues, and that is a legitimate echo chamber because they don't argue in good faith. You've seen that on full fucking display when Ted Cruz was there, okay? Like, I hate whenever people apply, oh, you just sit in your echo chamber. When you have people arguing topics in good faith, you want to engage in conversation with people, with like-minded people, seeking a furtherment of topics and ideas and concepts, okay? You want people on a certain intellectual plane. How do you further any of those ideas? By having people of similar ideas discuss what is best for that, okay? An echo chamber, on the other hand, is a bunch of people not making a whole lot of sense, okay? Not really furthering the conversation. Just bitching, moaning, whining, complaining all over top of that, okay? Just trying to play victimhood Olympics, okay? Trying to make whatever issue the most personal to you, and then at the end of the day, you can claim victory if you can make it the most personable about you, okay? And then leave it up to 4, 5, I don't know, sometimes it sounds like dozen of women on the View panel. Like, these fucking broads held awake the day after Hillary Clinton lost. I don't know if they had tears in my eyes, I guess, when she gave her concession speech. Fuck, I will never forget that day because that was on at the gym the day after I woke up after the Trump victory. That was on, and there was no audio of it, but you could see their faces, and they just all looked like their dog got run over while they were on their way to their parents' funeral after they died in a fiery car accident. Like, it was glorious. They're hunks of shit, and I couldn't care less about what happens to any of them. But yo, let's get back to what Sonny Hostin was saying. Hostin? I don't really know. Her name's not Sonny either, and neither is her disposition. Hostin compared White House Republican suburban women supporting the GOP to roaches voting for raid. They're all roaches. Oh, cockroach. What's also surprising to me is the abortion issue. That nobody cares. Nobody cares outside of the couple of coastal cities. Outside of that, they're like, yeah, I don't know. Life kind of begins at conception. Racist. Whatever. I just read a poll yesterday that white Republican suburban women, stop moving around, fucks in your fucking ads, are now going to vote Republican. Oh yeah, sucks to suck. You guys had a stronghold on those fucking pudgy white women that were out there in the fucking suburbs, okay? But guess what? You got too extreme for your own britches, okay? Instead of just slowly boiling the frog, you fuckers just decided to crank that bitch up, okay? You're tired of waiting because you have the attention span of a fucking gnat. It's almost like roaches voting for raid right now. I don't have anything wrong. She's just using a fucking analogy, okay? But everybody hopped down the throat of, this is going to be a big comparison. But again, I'm for, hey, at least good faith interpretations, even though I think, like, hey, man, the fucking View, ABC, their parent company, Disney, would yeet people for less. Just take a look at Gina Carano. She was posting a fucking, hey, the pandemic, all of those lockdowns, awfully looking, it looks eerily similar to what was happening in Germany in about 1942. Better slow this fucking slippery slope while we have the opportunity to. And then she was gone. But then you have, okay, somebody who's targeting, your biggest demographic, okay, pudgy suburban white women. Those are the only people who fucking watch The View. And you're saying, hey, if you vote for Republicans, it's like roaches voting for raid? That's a turn of phrase. And you've heard that 100,000 different times, okay? But if you want to take a look at it as blankly and uncharitably as possible, yeah, no, you're saying that white women are roaches and that Republicans are, designed there specifically to kill off women, okay? The Republicans are just open, brazen misogynists. They're just out there to just yeet every woman that's out there, and anybody who supports that party, you deserve the swift, fiery, venomous death that you're going to be voting for. It's like, bruh. Or you could just, understand that she's making an analogy right there. But that luxury is never, ever, ever afforded to anybody else, okay? It's only afforded to the people with the right political persuasion and the right genitalia. Let's keep it a buck, okay? Do we love democracy? I love democracy. Or not, because just saying that, it's insulting to a voter. Farrah Griffin said, people make decisions about what's right for their families, and the idea that you should have a say for everyone else's vote. Co-host Joy Behar, claiming that voting for a Republican is like voting for a cult. Oh my God, imagine. I need to butt in because I need to go out there and pump up the Democratic Party. Okay, if you vote for Republicans, you're basically voting for the cult. It's like, oh my God. Well, actually, if you were voting for the cult, that'd be so much sweeter. Okay, the Love Removal Machine, Firewoman, great tracks. Oh, not that cult. Behar, who has consistently dismissed concerns about crime ahead of the midterm elections, declared on Tuesday that crime was not on the rise. Yeah, no, this is big think out there, okay? Crime is not on the rise, and actually, it's going down under Joe Biden. Yep, no, it's actually all of these Republican-controlled states. Yeah, no, that's where all of the crime is going up. Sorry. No, yeah, you take a look at the top 50 cities where all the violent crime is happening, because I don't know, man, if you want to put cow tipping on the exact same level as, hopping out of bushes and raping bitches, if you want to put that on a fucking, even playing field, I'd imagine that's probably a conversation that's had on The View out there, because they have the audacity to think that, by somehow overturning Roe v. Wade, oh my God, it's basically going to be that feminist propaganda fucking halfway porn, Handmaid's Tale. Oh my God. It's like, bro, there's bigger fucking issues at play with all of this stuff, regardless how the midterms shake out. But yeah, this is all they care about, and they've claimed to be political insiders. Okay, my body, my morals, my life, my choice, not yours. Cool. Now just go ahead and do that for vaccine mandates, which you guys were pushing all too fucking hard for. God, The View is just a never-ending wellspring of idiotic ideas, and every once in a while, don't like to cover it every single day. It's kind of like those idiots that are out there. It's like, did you hear what Bill Maher said? Oh my God, he's like, he's one of those liberals that you can trust, and even they're losing him. It's like, oh my God, it's trying to make a joke about the special kid at the expense of good taste. It's like every once in a while you can go down and, you can make fun of the guy with the biggest head on the short bus. But if you make it a habit, people will catch on that you're continuously punching down. And being 6'6", I constantly got to punch down, and it gives me an advantage. But sometimes, hey man, you got to try to pop a waterhead or two. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.